Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide. We are on December 6th, 2022. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Dew, giving you your space weather update, as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Always starting out here looking at imagery of our sun, 304 angstroms, as we have 6 sunspots Earth-facing right now. And luckily, none of them are producing any solar flares or major solar flares, nor CMEs. Looking at the last 48 hours incoming, as you can see, pretty active fiery regions there, both below and above the equator, as well as solar prominence lifting around the equator, especially visible here in the outgoing position. Looks like plasma just floating in the heliosphere right there. Amazing imagery of our sun. As well, observing a couple plasma filaments, one stretched out across the southern hemisphere. Also, one stretching straight up. I have never seen a filament like this second one coming in, stretching up and down the hemisphere there. Looking at multispectrum, large coronal hole, Earth facing right now. Watch for that to increase our solar wind speeds over the next 36 hours. Another close look here at these sunspot regions. 6 sunspots, and at least 4 of them have potential for possible flaring, especially the one in the southern hemisphere there. These are massive. Solar X-ray flux remains in a lowered B range. Proton flux is low. And geomagnetic activity sitting at KP2 is really low right now. Real-time solar wind, we're sitting at 349 kilometers per second. Small jump there to about 500 kilometers per second for a short burst period of time. ISWA space prediction spiral still only showing the minor CME taking off from the cresting sunspot region. Schumann resonance for today is a power of 16. Quick look at the telemetry there, lifting in the last couple hours. 13 amplitude, quality of 7, and a power of 12. Now let's get to earthquakes here for the past 24 hours. As the largest earthquake was only a 5.9 in the last 24 hours, still expecting something larger to come. We did have a couple deep earthquakes to talk about. Also, some notable earthquakes there up into the Pacific Northwest Canada. Starting out here with 5.9 in King Kong, Indonesia, 18 kilometer depth, as well a 5.2 there offshore just south of the Semeru volcano, as well a 5.5 here, mid-Indian Ridge, 10 kilometer depth. 5.0 earthquake here, Gorontalo, Indonesia, 185 kilometer depth. As well, a 4.9 Philippines. Quiet through Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, and only 2 very deep earthquakes here to report today. 4.4, 415 kilometer depth, as well as 4.5, 538 kilometer depth. So deep earthquakes coming back to Tonga region. As well, looking over China, have a 4.8 here to report Mongolia, as well as 4.5 in Turk Mongolia, 4.7 there in Rasht, Tajikistan, and a 4.3 Turkmenistan. Rare earthquake there. Overlooking South American plate, only major earthquake was the 4.4 in Chile, 4.6, 4.7 up the coast, as well as 5.0 here reported southern East Pacific rise. Increasing activity here in Puerto Rico, north of the island. largest being a 4.1 and a 3.9. Then we get to the United States, where we still have earthquakes occurring. White City, New Mexico, as well Oklahoma. But we saw some sizable earthquakes here. California, 4.0. California, as well. Fort Birdsell, 3.5 earthquake. 3.8 earthquake here off the coast of Oregon. And a 4.6 earthquake here. Port McNeil, Canada. Also notable, a couple minor earthquakes right up into the coastline of Vancouver. Quick look at that in just a moment. Earthquakes bouncing back and forth between Kilauea and Mauna Loa. Now let's have a look at USGS, and this is the last 7 days for earthquakes across the United States here. Hazard regions, but notable earthquake here. British Columbia, 2.8, just southeast of a fellow follower, Bottle Caps. Having a look here, this is the last 7 days for earthquakes across the hazard zones of the United States. Increasing activity here since that 6.1 last week, or 2 weeks ago. As well, increasing activity here through the New Madrid, Missouri. Now let's have a quick look here at the last 7 days for earthquakes across the globe. As we've seen an increase just in this past 24 hours, sitting at about 250 earthquakes across the USGS map. Now this is Volton 3D Earthquake Visualizer, an app that everybody can download. Having a quick look here at the last 7 days, largest earthquake being the 6.7 Tonga region. Increasing activity all through Java and up into Sumatra. Heads up, stay aware and prepared. That's what this is all about. Giving you your earthquake update. Look at the southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere. Increasing activity across the North American plate, especially north towards Greenland. Setting up for interesting winter. Let's have a look at the Pacific Disaster Center, showing the most recent satellite imagery, and as well posting the most recent volcanoes getting updated. As we have 50 erupting volcanoes across the planet, but each day volcano statuses can change. Looking at Sangay in Ecuador. Many flood alerts here keep popping up. 154 hazards. Thoughts and prayers going out to everybody affected. Looking at Mauna Loa in the United States. As well, Sabancaya in Peru. Fuego, Guatemala. Semeru, of course, Indonesia. And Reventador in Ecuador. As well, Popocatépetl in Mexico. Cotopaxi in Ecuador. Sheveluch, Russia. As well, Taal in the Philippines. So newly awakened, I guess we're sitting at 51 active and erupting volcanoes across the world, as the Taal volcano was updated today. Newly awakened volcano 19 hours ago. Taal showing signs of activity. Go figure. Carrying on here with Villarrica in Chile, as well Nevadas de Ruiz in Colombia. So that's about 13 volcanoes getting updated today, and one newly awakened Taal volcano. Having a look around the world, satellite imagery, as we have extreme cold temperatures that have swept across the Canadian prairies, parts of western Canada through Alberta, seeing wind chill values of minus 40 and minus 50 degrees. As well, that's moved eastward into Manitoba. I have a quick here update on the SO2 coverage from the large eruption at Mauna Loa. This is an updated forecast model for the next 3 days. As you can see, there is a lot of yellow and SO2 enveloped across the northern hemisphere as predicted and forecasted here with daily events worldwide, as we have many volcanoes that have been active and erupting, and it's been increasing and steady here for the past couple of years. Having a quick look here at overlooking Europe and Asia. Quite a big plume coming off of Stromboli. Literally, Mauna Loa has enveloped the northern hemisphere. Now let's have a look here at windy.com, showing the most recent precipitation models as we have a system heading through this weekend for eastern United States. And then in the long range forecast, watch for a big beast of a system. This will be a Nor-Eastor, the first major Nor-Eastor of the season. Looking at northeastern United States, you will see some heavy accumulations as that low pressure system comes in off the Pacific, bringing moisture from BC and southward to California. But then watch for a northern low here to come in through the Hudson Bay and mix with those systems, creating that big Nor-Eastor. Overlooking South America, daily evaporation rains. Later on the week, watch for really heavy rains. Monday into Tuesday, long line stretching through Buenos Aires. Overlooking Africa, Europe, low pressure system off of Spain is going to bring some moisture eastward into Europe, and some cloudy days in the long range forecast as all these systems start making landfall from the Atlantic and cold temperatures start flooding in from the east. Minus 60 in some parts in Russia. Also watching a possible couple cyclones developing, especially for India. Overlooking Southeast Asia and the West Pacific. No major cyclones or typhoons developing. Quick little forecast overlooking Australia as you've got a low leaving and then another one coming in over Tasmania by Monday into Tuesday of next week. And have a little look here at temperature transition as things are really starting to warm up in Australia. 44 in northern parts, that's Celsius. Highest temperature recording here for the next little bit, but pretty cool. Southern parts as that cold air is sticking around. Having a look here over North America, as you can see the polar vortex sweeping down, extreme and frigid temperatures and some strong winds associated, so wind chill values through Alberta are dangerous right now. Minus temperature stretching all the way down to New Mexico. Now let's have a look at Null School, showing the upper level winds. This is our polar vortex with our magnetic north. It seems to be way over by Siberia. That's right, over here is where our new North Pole is. Strong polar vortex, winds coming through at 250 kilometers per hour in those upper level winds. We've got Siberia cold stretching all the way down to Alberta in Canada. Big changes on our planet recently, and I'm happy to have you all tuning in. So thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the update. Stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your daily dew. Much love now. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.